In this video, we are going to compare this $2,000 model train set.
It sounds huge.
To this $200 model train set. I can see the light radiating through the nose of the engine. Maximum effort on this engineer right here. Hey there. Who won the Battle of the Horns? Menards or Lionel? Menards versus Lionel. RBP, why are we doing this? Welcome back, folks. Hope you're having a great week. I picked up 2 train sets recently. Actually, that's a lie. I picked these up a long time ago, like months ago. We are going to take a look at how this $2,000 Lionel Union Pacific diesel set compares to this Menards $200 diesel set. The results may astonish you, or maybe I'm building this up too much. You be the judge. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. If you look at these sets side by side, there's one glaring difference. The Lionel set features the ABBA arrangement with 4 locomotives, and the Menards set features the AA arrangement with only 2 locomotives. Even if I were to remove the 2B units from the Lionel set, it still retails for $1,100. So we're still looking at a big price variant between the Menards and the Lionel. Now that we've mentioned that little detail, let's go over the looks of the engines. The Lionel models are part of their Legacy series, which are designed to represent the most realistic O-gauge model. This means we're going to see finer details, more scale proportions. I know, it's O-gauge, it's O-gauge. I'm always afraid to say the word scale with O-gauge. Are we good? Is it cool I said that? I'm talking to myself. Looking at the Menards model, the color and details are pretty good as well. I mean, these are F-unit diesels, so not quite as detailed as some of the other engines, like steam engines or some of the other diesel engines that we've seen. I am by no means a railroad historian, and I can't speak to the color accuracy of most of the engines, but I'd have to imagine that Menards took some creative liberties on the sides of this diesel. Even so, it still features that iconic Union Pacific yellow, and there are plenty of similarities between the Menards and Lionel models. I particularly noticed the nose of each engine. If you look at both of these together, very similar. The Lionel model features all of those extra things. You know, the see-through grills, the separately applied details, handrails, all on the sides, the nose, the top. There's just a lot more detail on the engine itself, as well as the 2B units and the additional A unit at the back. But Menards holds up pretty well in the side-by-side. What Menards lacks in detail, they make up for in flair. Let's compare my favorite element of these models, the sounds. This is where I'm going to need your help. So let's go trackside to get a closer look and listen at these 2 models. It is time for a whistle battle, or in this case, the Battle of the Horns, since we have diesel engines. But first, we got to start them up. I have my Lionel Legacy remote and my Menards remote that ships with the engine. We don't start the Menards with the remote, we got to use the transformer. Lots of rumbling in here. Note, the Menards engine only has 1 speaker. My Lionel set has a speaker in the engine, and I have the super bass B unit. Let's start with Menards. Lionel. That's gonna be tough to beat. What do you think? Menards? Lionel. Leave me a comment. Who won the Battle of the Horns? Menards or Lionel? Let me know. I really like the way Menards did the dialogue in their model. Lionel opted for the more generic dialogue, whereas Menards uses more specific phrases. Let's listen.
Then let's go. Dispatcher, 4694 East is ready to proceed.
4694 East, confirm you're ready. Aligning switches to track 1. Have a good trip.
Power, station work complete and ready to head east. Can I pull? Over. The lead is yours. All clear to pull. Out.
On the Lionel engine, I'm not so worried about the generic train dialogue because there's this other chatter that's built in that sounds really epic. Listen to this.
1376 to Mountford 777. 3077 on the main track, code 7. This morning has one box checked. Number 2, over.
It really makes you feel like you're standing on the side of the track and just listening to the operators communicating with one another. I still like the Menards dialogue. With Lionel, road-specific crew dialogue is usually only found on their highest-end engines, such as the Vision Line or some of their brass hybrids. 50 points for Menards here. When did I start keeping points? We're not doing that, right? It's like, whose line is it anyway? And the final element to compare. Drivetrain and coupler features. All the mechanical stuff. Well, big strides for Menards here. Last time I did a Menards review was when we looked at their first generation Santa Fe F unit. Remember that one? It was something like this. Let's go in reverse so I don't immediately fly off camera. Whoa. All right, so no steady roll here. You're moving or you're stopped. Look out, Menards is coming. All right. This Union Pacific model has a much smoother drivetrain. Watch this. Motor operation is way better here. Still a little fast, not as slow and not as smooth as the Lionel. But again, we're comparing two very different train engines, even though they look similar. Our Lionel Legacy set is rocking 3 powered units for a total of 6 motors. Big power here. But this is a $2,000 set, so we should have some big power, right? That Odyssey speed control is like butter. Odyssey is the marketing name for Lionel's speed control system. And it is smooth. You can make these engines crawl. Like, really slow. I get in trouble for running my engines fast all the time, so let's see how slow we can go. This is for all of the folks who say I run my trains too fast. This is for you. This is the slowest possible speed step that Lionel offers. And in about 15 minutes, my train might make it past this 8-foot bridge. Was that slow enough? That's like as slow as it's going to go. With Lionel, you get extra features such as the operating couplers, which you can throw from your remote. So you can do it with the front or the rear couplers, and it doesn't matter if they're all chained together like this. It works as one long train. The Menards engine does not have operating couplers, so you have to manually operate them, which is not that big of a deal. But there was a bit of sag on the dummy A unit, which you'll see right here. One of the best things about model railroading is we learn how to improvise. That's how I was able to take this and put it back to this. I actually had to use a wire tie to keep the coupler in place. Otherwise, this is what you would see. Plus, the Lionel units have smoke on them. Each one of these has its own fan-driven smoke unit. It's a lot of smoke. So while these engines have a lot of differences and some similarities, it may not be fair to compare. But let me know, which one do you like? Lionel? Menards? Menards is a really good value for what it does. And Lionel continues to push innovation in O-Gauge, as we've seen many times here on my channel. I had a lot of fun comparing these two sets tonight. Menards and Lionel. What could be better? Maybe some MTH? I don't know. As always, a huge thank you to all of my subscribers and everyone who's been supporting this channel. My name is Chris, and this is RBP Trains. We'll see you next time.